What's up, everybody? It's Silverseeker, and today we are taking a look at one of the biggest and most valuable key date Morgans in the entire series of Morgan Silver Dollars, the 1893 S. That's right, guys. In our hand, we do have an 1893S Morgan Silver Dollar, but there is a couple of questions, and we're going to talk about them right here. First off, without question, this has been polished. It does appear that, unfortunately, somebody took a polishing cloth or something of that sort to this coin. You can see the dark areas in the field where you can't really get very close without, a brush. So if you look between the stars, E pluribus unum, if you look between the lines on the hair, things like that, you can see all that dark shading. That is where they weren't able to get the polishing cloth. And you can see if you look at the surface and the color, and if we tilt it in the light, that's not luster right there, guys. That is polish. You can also see the surface is definitely been polished a little bit. If we flip it over to the reverse, condition-wise, it's about a fine. I mean, it could even be a very fine, actually. Yeah, if you look at the right feathers, the right wing, the feathers are all intact. Left wing, there's some weakness near the top with the breast completely gone. A little bit of flatness right on the neckline. This is definitely like a very fine as far as condition is concerned. You can see on the back, if you look right above the 0 and 1, you can see like a little bit of discoloration again from the polishing. But we have another question, guys, and we want to know if this is real or fake. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at some identifiers and see if we can see the identifiers of the 1893S and if we can confirm whether or not it's real or fake. And then what we're going to do is we're going to send this off to PCGS and see if they'll certify it and send it back. And of course, it's going to come back cleaned, and that's fine, but we still want to have it sent and certified as legit. Or if it does, in fact, turn out to be fake, it'd be great to know for sure. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get this under the scope. What we're going to look for is a couple of identifying die markers, something that's on every single 1893S. And we're going to look under the scope and see if we can see those identifiers and go from there. Okay, guys, so as you can see, we are incredibly zoomed in. So we are looking at the word Liberty in the cap right now. This is one of the first things we want to look at. And what we're going to be looking at is in the bottom left of the R, there's a die marker. It's known as the bunny ears or the rabbit ears. And we do see that right here. And basically, it's just a die gouge right here, like a scratch, that gives it like a rabbit ear or a bunny ear appearance. And you can see it right here. So that is really, really cool because that's one of the two identifying markers that you always want to look at for a real legit 1893S. And it is definitely there, although it is very weak. It's weaker than you would usually see. But if this thing was polished on like a buffing wheel, it is very possible that the buffing wheel actually got down into there and wore that out a little bit more than it would be. Because normally it'd be protected because it's down in the, in the recess of the word Liberty. Okay, guys, so now we're going to take a look at the T. The T has a die gouge in it that goes through the T, and I'll show you with the arrow here, and we'll put the image up on the screen as well. And this looks like what is the start of that die gouge. However, if you look on the picture that I'll have on the screen for you, you can see that it's missing a big portion of it. Like it's almost been completely worn down. And then as you move up, you can actually see, and again, the image is going to show you, it skips across this part, and then you see the die gouge again. And I don't see any sign of the die gouge up there unless my eyes are confusing me. I looked at this under a loop, and the loop made it even harder to see anything. The only thing I can tell is that this little line right here is that die gouge. And that die gouge is apparent on every single 1893S Morgan. With this one, the only thing I'm worried about is that actually the die gouge, or is that, because you see, this right here, you see a lot going on because of its polishing. Additionally, you can also ask the question, did the die gouge get polished out? Like, again, if they put this on a buffing wheel, could the buffing wheel have gotten down into the crevice and actually, worn the die gouge off of the coin? So those are some of the questions that we are asking for this one. I'm not 100% certain if that die gouge is the die gouge we're looking for. It's in about the correct position. I would imagine it would be a little bit higher, actually, just looking at the image and comparing it to what we have under the scope. To the two things we're looking for, again, we're looking at the R, we're looking at the rabbit ears, which are definitely apparent on this coin. And when we're this zoomed in, I mean, it's really hard to move and not be jerky, but you definitely see them. I mean, that is 100% clear. There's no question about that. There is a question of the second die gouge or die scratch, if you will, on the T. Let me get this recentered. Just a little bit of a question. Yeah, I mean, you see where it might have been there, but again, if this were like polished on a buffing wheel or something of that sort, then yeah, I mean, possibly, I don't know. So the question is it actually real? So, I mean, we do have the 2 identifying markers. Now, let's take a look at a couple of other things. Okay, so I got the scale out. And what we're going to do is we're going to weigh this. I'm going to put a piece of plastic down over the metal so it doesn't scratch up. And then we'll tear it out to 0 so it's exactly 0. So a Morgan silver dollar is 26.7 grams. Let's take a look and see what we have here. 26.6, 26.7, it kind of balanced between the 2 right at the end. So the weight's correct. You know, with a little bit of polishing and wear, you could definitely see where it would be between 26.6 and 26.7 grams. So we do have the correct weight. Now let's see what else we got here. We got our neodymium magnet. We're going to go ahead and... Okay, the magnet's messing with the focus of the camera. Well, that was probably just the tip of the magnet. This is actually a neodymium fishing magnet. All right, so it's not magnetic. So it's passed the weight test. It's passed the magnetism test. The other thing we want to do, guys, is we want to go ahead and do a sound test on this. Okay, so we got our Boolean test app up. So what we're going to do is we're just going to quickly select a Morgan/Peace silver dollar. 26.73 grams, talks about the purity, and it knows what sound it's supposed to be expecting. And then we'll hit this microphone button right here. And we're going to balance it on our finger, and we're going to hit it with something that's not going to cause it any damage, because this is an 1893S. So we'll go ahead and use the pen, and we'll hit it right now. Here we go. All right, so as you can see, the 3 frequencies are spot on for what we are looking for with the 1893S, or any Morgan silver dollar, I should say. Okay, as we saw, our 1893S Morgan did pass the sound test, it passed the magnet test, it passed the weight test. It also has the exact same diameter and thickness as a regular Morgan silver dollar. It also has a very clear die marker for the R with the rabbit ears, but we are not sure about the die marker for the scratch in the T. If that was worn down on a buffing wheel when someone tried to polish this up or not. So the only real thing left to do is send this off and have it certified by PCGS. So we're going to send this to PCGS and see if they will certify it as real or if they're going to send it back as fake. We have no idea. But if they do send it back as real, even though it's been polished, it's still a very valuable silver dollar because 1893Ss are very, very rare. So let me know down below what you think. Do you think it's real? Do you think it's fake? Those are the questions we are both wondering right now, and I would love to see your opinion. And when we get this back in a few weeks, we'll make an unboxing video, and you'll be able to see the results along with me. I won't look at the results before I open the box, which you can do by logging into their website after they've shipped it back. I will leave it a secret to myself, and then I will reveal it on camera, and I'll find out with you guys if this is real or fake. Alrighty, guys, that is it. Like I said, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this 1893S Morgan. Is it real? Is it fake? And we will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, guys. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for watching the video. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Above me, you can click and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Up here, you can check out some of my other videos. And then over here, guys, there's a huge shout out to all of my silver, gold, and platinum channel members. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one.